Really trying to get that road to the right value. Sometimes it helps to put in like those road markers, those road lines. It helps it read as a road. So your mind expects it. It's so used to seeing those details that putting them in. Let's actually get in a car.
Say that again.
Let's actually get in a car or two. These will just be flat shapes. Change the color a bit so not every car is the same. Out in the background here, we can really have fun with some just spotty, fun-looking cars. Just one brushstroke equals a car. It's one of the nice parts about working small like this. And we will hit the tops of those with some light in just a second. Just realizing I've kind of neglected the right side of the frame, which is not a good thing to let happen any longer than this. It's mostly just foliage. Again, I want the eye to follow the road, so okay. Let's change brushes. It's okay. Here you can see I'm kind of re-wetting that gouache, which allows me to let it run and create textures. Just put wet on top of what's already dry. It looks like I've completely lost the sunlight, so like I said, I'm gonna remember what I had in mind, but there are some things I can adapt and put in there. So it's kind of maybe a halfway thing in the end. Let's get some light in the house area, just so it's not one big blobby dark shape. Maybe there are front porches or things painted white, which there are actually in real life. Little details. This one has been maybe the most uniquely challenging today, because it's given me at least 2 or 3 different types of light, from pure sunlight to partial sunlight to now no sunlight. But again, that's one of the reasons I paint outside, is you develop a bit of that resilience through kind of developing some dexterity with your technique, and your mental attitude is important too. That when that happens to you, you don't get all freaked out. Because it will happen if you paint outdoors. let's look at those cars and get, first of all, the tires bled too much into the ground. Fix that. And let's look at some shadows. Just dark and maybe warm. And I should also get the cars in the foreground to be a little bit more removed from that blobby, nebulous sort of state they're in. With a few highlights. And another trick with the backs of cars is getting the rear tail lights painted in. All of a sudden makes them sell as cars. Let's keep going with those cars. Maybe put one here. And while I remember, I've just noticed that I've neglected the street lights. Let's get those in too. Just a few indications of some traffic lights. Okay, I feel like the road is needs to be revisited once again. Let's get some lighter, cooler blue. And again, like I've said before, I'm spending most of my time looking at the painting than I am the subject, because especially this one, we're so far away from where it was when it started. Even the original scene is far away from where it was when it started, that it's really about how to make this work more than I have to pull that information from my head rather than look at the actual scene to get to tell me what's going to work, because the information is so different at this point.